woman talking openly about sex is okay or not? Because India is a spiritual country, and spirituality, spirituality, connection with God, and getting on a yogic level, it is where you have to cut yourself off from the reality. You have to, not exactly reality, you have to cut yourself off from something that is going to something that's going to tie you up into maya, tie you up into an indefinite bondage, which is why I think the most enticing thing that people find, that it's actually going to tie you for ages, for births and births, it is actually sex, which is why a lot of people, they refrain from talking about sex. And let alone women are actually, women are actually treated in a different way if they openly talk about sex. So which is why, in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts with you, especially, if you are a woman, you might feel whether I should openly talk about sex or not. Okay, so make sure that you watch this entire video till the end to get the entire scoop. Okay, stay tuned. So India is a spiritual country, and what are the teachings of spirituality that they are just going on in this country? What are they leading to? We are like focused on moksha, right? Attaining moksha, attaining a state where a soul does not have to take birth again and come back into on this planet. Okay, so moksha is the topmost thing that every spiritual person, every religious person is focused on. And what is the thing that is going to tie you up into maya? Okay, what is going to tie you up into maya, karma, whatever you call it? So that is actually, there are a lot of things, but the most enticing of them is sex. Okay, so talking about thoughts about sex, the act itself, that actually, it actually captivates a lot of people, even without, sometimes, you may not even think about it, that you are not even aware about it, but yes, your mind is just going in one direction, and that is just the thoughts of sex. Okay, which is why it is said that sex is the biggest hindrance when it comes to achieving your spiritual goals. Which is why sex is considered to be, yes, it's considered to be a taboo. It is usually not talked about. People usually refrain from talking about it, refrain from listening about it. Okay, especially who are on the spiritual path. And this is where, all of it started. This is where all of it started, that yes. And how it happens, how it goes is, the people who are not into spirituality, the people who are not into any much of following a religion very, very strictly, they are also like refraining from talking about sex. They are also like scared that what is going to be their image in the society if they start openly talking about sex, which is where, it leads to women. Because yes, talking about sex, they say that yes, when you openly talk about sex, it's going to induce that kind of feelings inside you. And women are specially refrained, that don't talk about sex. You should not be the one who is initiating that kind of conversation, that kind of mentality, that kind of thought pattern into somebody, because that might entice the soul, and they may actually feel the wrath towards you, because yes, you talked about sex. So which is why, women are like, yes, everything is like focused on women. You don't have to talk about sex. If a man is getting diverted, if a man is getting distracted, it's the reason is the woman. Okay, so a kind of mentality has been developed, that the mentality about, whether a man is thinking about sex or not, it actually is depending on the women in the society, which is why women are also refrained from talking about sex. Now let's get to the main topic. Okay, whether women should openly talk about it or not. So my answer is yes and no both. Okay, The reason why answer is yes and no is yes, when it is extremely necessary, when it comes that yes, you are not understood properly, people need to understand what's going on inside you, then you may have to clearly talk about sex. But at the same time, just try to see in front of whom you are about to talk. There are a certain level of people, as soon as you start talking about sex, lust is the only thing that's going to come in their mind. No matter how educated they are, no matter how good families they belong to, but that person, that man is going to only think about it in a lustful manner. Okay. I don't say that all men are bad. Okay, even if that man is like thinking in a lustful manner, it does not make that man bad. It just depends on the drive, the sex drive of a man. Sometimes, if the man, his sex drive is like really strong, then he may find it difficult to control his feelings, to control his drive, when a woman starts talking about it. Okay, so it is actually, people start throwing hatred towards that kind of man also, that oh, what sort of man he is, etc., etc. But anybody who has a very strong sexual drive, whether a man or a woman, they will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so yes, yeah, my sympathies go to this kind of men, that they are not able to think clearly just because they have a higher sex drive. And it's just that, God just bless these kind of people, because yes, there has to be a certain level of awareness that you should be able to separate your feelings of sex from what is actually going on around you, what is actually being told in the environment. And yes, and in order for women to have a better reputation in the society, families usually teach females, something about sex. They usually make women dislike sex, dislike talks about sex, dislike the act of sex altogether, so that the woman is not, yes, she's not openly discussing it, she's not openly talking about it. Okay, so for that, yes, since the teenage, since the girl, she starts entering into her puberty age, yeah, sometimes, elders, parents, family members, they start saying, oh, sex is bad, it is dirty, you should not be getting that kind of thoughts. I hope that a lot of families are, evolving from this kind of mentality and not directing their girls, not instructing their girls in this way. Sex is not bad, right? It is not bad if you are doing it with the person whom you love the most, right? It's the most beautiful thing on earth. Okay, there won't be anything better than that if you are doing it with the person you love. But yes, with what the society is going to think about them, if the girl is like freely very open towards it, if a guy is approaching her and she's openly getting ready for it, the society may approach her in a different way. The guy may actually spread rumors about her. The guy may actually start thinking that she's very low and very shallow on her character. And because of all of this mentality, because of all of this societal restrictions, parents, families, they usually have to, yeah, direct their daughters with the wrong information. Okay, so yes, what's the wrong information? Sex is dirty, sex is bad. You should not be thinking about sex. You should not be talking about sex. You should not be feeling that urge to have sex. Dude, you're going to ruin your daughter, if you're going to tell her that, because as soon as, like, she hits the puberty, yes, men as well as women, they start having a sex drive, which is totally normal. Universe has made men and women so that they can procreate, and the cycle of birth and death, it just keeps going on and on. So you are going to ruin your daughter's psychology if you are inducing that in her, that sex is bad. She is not going to feel good about it, because she is also going to have that urge. And this is also the reason why the people from good families, men from good families, they always refrain the women in the house, the daughters, the sisters, a wife, mothers, they always refrain the woman in the house to not be very open towards discussions and topics of sex. Even if there is a very good discussion going on a Facebook group or somewhere, men usually restrict, no, don't reply on that, don't comment on that post. Okay, So which is the reason is, the men are just trying to protect the woman in their house, that when they are talking, when they are openly discussing about that topic, others who are looking at those comments, they should not get a wrong idea, a wrong thought notion about the woman in their family. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, as I told you, just be very careful. If you are a woman, a woman, if you're a girl, just be very careful when you talk about sex. Okay, because if a girl of around 14, 15 years, if she is watching this video, she is actually going to think, my god, what bullshit is this? Why I'm not supposed to talk about sex? But yes, do be careful when you're talking about sex. Try to see what is the mentality of the man you're standing against, whom you're standing against and talking. Sometimes, females, women are also brought up in a way that they have this very strongly etched inside their minds that anybody who is talking about sex is a bad charactered person, whether it is a male or a female. So, if you are talking in front of them, they may actually take you as a bad person. Now, when I say this, that okay, be very careful in front of whom you're talking. You may say, okay, but why should I be bothered about what they are thinking about me? I want to live my life the way I want. See, if you are going with that attitude, you need to have a very, very strong base, a very, very strong reason for talking about that topic. You just cannot start blabbering without any context. You have to have a strong reason why you would like to talk about that subject. Okay, and if you have a strong enough reason, then just talk it, then just forget it whether what they are going to think about you. Yes, if you have your mission, your goal, that you want to change the mindset about in people's mind about sex, about sexuality, about accepting their sexuality, you have a good reason about it, then just go ahead with it. Then don't think whether what that person will think, whether that person is a man or a woman. Yeah, don't think about that. Also, being a woman, just be very careful if you have a bunch of men who are like, yes, have a very high quotient of their sexuality. Okay, they have a very high sexual drive, and you are amongst a bunch of them. If you are alone, don't talk about it. Okay, even if you have a very good reason, even if you have a very strong context of talking about that subject, don't talk about it. Okay, yes, if you want to be safe, don't talk about that subject. Okay, so I honestly, I honestly don't know what kind of response you are going to give. If you are a woman, what kind of response you might give. I'm curious. I'm also like a little bit tensed what you may think, because it's I have been through it, like where I just refrained from talking about it. Then I just felt, oh, it's normal and everybody has a sex drive, so it's okay to talk about it. Then I was taken like, yes, people start having some other notions about you, that yes, she is available, which is why she is talking this way. I was taken in that way, after which I changed my mind, and again I have to like think a million times before talking about this subject. Okay, so yeah, so so this is the reason, I just wanted to give my views very openly on this video. I did not want to be judged. Yeah, in society, if I go out there and talk this in front of people, yes, I might have to think about everything that I just told you in this video. But just because this is a video, I like there's nobody around me right now, I'm just very comfortable talking about this, and I would like to know what you think about this. Okay, whether it is good or not, whether you should be thinking about what men will think about you or not. Being in India, yes, I feel that you should be thinking about what men will think before talking about it. But yes, if you are from some other country, let me know in the comments how easy for you it is to communicate about sex with the opposite sex person. Okay, so yes, so thank you so much for watching this video till here. Yeah, keep following the path of your soul's purpose, because you are born for a reason. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.